The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
This is Denise Nostrom, CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investment advice is needed. Not just where best to invest your money, but why. Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and looking to maximize your income? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time saving to buy another home? Are the markets in line with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Please contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691, or visit us at diversifiedfinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through all market conditions with only one goal in mind, my clients. Visit me at diversifiedfinancial.biz or call Denise Nostrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions, at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you. Good afternoon. Wow, this has been quite a trying week. I think we all feel the same way. I don't know. We're going to see how this show goes today, but I'm feeling a bit disconnected today, and really, I've been disconnected pretty much all week. And I'm having technology problems here. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, Facebook, I want to apologize. Last week we weren't live. Well, we were on, but there was no sound. So we had that going on. So we're trying to improve things, but I should learn from my own lessons that sometimes improving things just is very annoying, and it doesn't work out so well. But anyway, I told you that if you've been listening to the show that I'm really not a fan of the month of September. I don't know why. It's just always been like this. It's not just of late or the past couple of years or whatever the case may be. And I don't know, this September is really proving me right this go around. There's such a dark cloud over this month in so many ways. And again, I always want to have the uplifting show on a Friday afternoon. So I'm not here to bring you down today, that's for sure. But we're going to unpack some things, and we will hopefully feel better over the next half hour or so. I'm going to do my best. So I want to thank you for tuning into the Financial Chick Show. I'm your host, Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to learn more about me and my firm, you can check out the website at financialchickshow.com. We're also on Facebook at Diversified Financial Solutions, so like our pages to get updates and see what's happening. So I first want to start out with a shout out to my husband, Rob. His birthday was yesterday, so I want to wish him a very happy birthday on air, although I did wish him a happy birthday in person. We went out to dinner and all of that, but want to give him a shout out. And actually, I have several clients that have birthdays on September 11th. Mitch, Amanda, Michelle. So there's a few of you out there. I don't know who's watching or who's listening, but happy birthday to you guys as well. But there's a fun fact that out of the 10 most common birthdays, 10 most common birthdays in the United States, 9 of them are in the month of September. So the only one, there's one, I think it's number 6, maybe. I'm just trying to recall the list. It's in July. I think it's July 7th or whatever. So apparently we call these holiday party parents kids. So apparently around the holidays, there's a lot of stuff going on at that time. So having, actually my husband and I got together. That was our first year together, was 2001, when 9/11 actually happened. We were together that day and went to work, and then very soon or shortly thereafter turned around and came home. So it's a tough day. We all know where we were that morning. It was absolutely shocking. I know initially, watching on TV, it looked like, I guess you couldn't really tell scale. It looked like a small plane maybe went off course and hit the building, until everything started coming out. Like you really just didn't know what was really going on. It's hard to feel uplifted on a day that brought so much sadness, 24 years later, but it does still feel like yesterday. It's a day that changed New York and America really forever. And it's really an interesting day, too, because September 11th is typically such a beautiful day with sun. It's warm, and usually very little to no clouds in the sky, the blue sky. And that was the day that it happened. And I got to admit, day to day, I really don't take note of these things. You know, you just kind of go along your day, you're working, you're doing your chores or whatever the case may be. But on September 11th, I take note. I do. So anyway, I'm getting very emotional. But I want to say thank you to one of the speakers who was honoring his cousin who was killed in the South Tower on 9/11. He called on political leaders to renounce terror and violence, and those candidates that refused to condemn the phrase globalize the infantata. He did not mention names, but intimated the mayoral elections that will be happening this November in New York City. It's a scary time, but we cannot forget. After that horrific mayor, Bill de Blasio, I had high hopes for Adams. But he followed the pack with policies that put the city in jeopardy, and he had a share of scandals as well. So the mayoral leader is really one of the most people that everybody's fearing right now, the guy that's leading the pack. His policies are super frightening, and everything cannot be free. Although now he's kind of backing off on his stances and changing to a more populist view because he wants to win. I fear for my daughter who is in the city because he is a defund the police kind of guy. And many cops are already looking to jump ship. You know, like that's one of the things that if he wins, they're just not really happy about that. And not to mention that companies. So, you know, New York is a big mecca of industry, you know, and they're planning to jump if he wins, which again will hurt real estate. And it'll just kind of be a... Hopefully not, but if he does, you know, like hopefully it's not going to, I love New York and I just hope that everything will be okay. But I don't know, can we endure all of this? I'm not sure. You know, we just had the whole thing where we're just the giveaways to all the migrants and, you know, we're here on Long Island, but all this stuff is going to affect us, whether we like it or not. You know, although we cannot vote in this race, we just have to pray really hard that it goes away, that will be the best for everybody. Unless we secede, Long Island. That's another story, another show. But anyway, this week was also filled with just other terrible stories as well. The first story that really just totally just blew my mind was the young woman that was on the light rail in North Carolina. Gets off from work, goes on the train, unprovoked, attack, and it was just horrific, absolutely horrific. And I think what's even more horrifying is the fact that if you saw the video, and if you didn't, I will tell you, not one person helped her. Nobody really was affected. Nobody tried to save her. It's just absolutely, you know, it's a big sign of our society today that we are desensitized and we just don't care about human beings, each other anymore. And, it's just ugly. It's just really, really ugly. And, you know, and the story kind of tells you, too, that you obviously don't need a gun to murder somebody because he did not have a gun, this particular person that did this to her. But, you know, the scary part, my daughter even said that to me. She's like, Ma, you know, I could just be walking down the street and somebody just is mad and they just hurt me, or God forbid worse. And this is where we're at right now. So it's really a blemish on society, and we really got to figure out what the heck is going on and why people are so angry. One other story that you may have heard or may not have heard, the couple that lived in Belrose, Queens. There was a gentleman that was going door by door and asking to say his phone was not charged and asking to get a charger to charge his phone. Bottom line, people, not today. Do not let anybody in your house. I know we want to be nice and we want to be good to people, but do not, and I repeat, do not let people in your home. But what he did was he held them hostage when he got in the home for over 5 hours and tortured them. And then he put the house on fire. Again, murder without a gun. So there is obviously an issue here that people are angry. People just don't care. People, if you're going to hurt you, they're going to hurt you regardless of what type of weapon they have, car, knife, incinerate, matches, whatever it may be. But, and it's even on the streets. The other day I was going to the doctor and there was a big pickup truck and he was riding my tail. He was practically attached to my bumper. And then, don't you know it, somebody now cuts in front of me. So now I have to step on the brake. And he's like super close to me, and I just was like, I put my hands up like, what's up? Like, back off a little bit. Like, what is the deal? And then he comes around and then he's like, giving me faces and I like, I just don't understand what is happening in this world right now, but something's got to happen. Something's got to go down where people just get a grip on themselves. But, we'll talk a little bit more, probably the more, popular, not popular, but the more publicized story we'll talk about after the break. But it's just been a very, very hard week. And I've just been very, like I said, very distracted and very sad. I just want to talk this stuff out a little bit. And then we will just get to some other things. But anyway, you are listening to The Financial Chick Show. This is Denise Nostrom, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. Feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691. Stay tuned. We're going to the break. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company's in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all of those changes. So, again, I don't want to have the show be sad and down this today, but it's been a rough week, and I talked a little bit before the break about some of the crazy things that have been happening with just people hurting, killing people. I mean, actually it was a trifecta in the stories of the woman that was in North Carolina, the Belrose couple, Belrose Queens. And then of course, the most publicized story was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And, such an awful thing. This is a guy that self-starter, hardworking person. I mean, it's not like the American dream and what America's all about. And he happened to stick to his values and tried to educate people. But more importantly, he allowed people to engage in a conversation. Silence creates conflict, whether outright or in your own mind. So you think about it. We're going through this right now with, we've had a big change in our firm with one of the companies that we do business with. And, what happens is that if you don't get information, feedback from a company, or you get information, you start creating things in your mind, right? And, you start getting aggravated. And it may be not even right, but what's the first thing we do? We get upset, this is not going the right way it's supposed to. Things are supposed to go the right way. Same thing when you have a fight with somebody, right? And I'm not saying like a fight, like fist fight or whatever, but, you have an argument with somebody and, you don't talk for a while. And what you start doing, it's a human nature, it's what we do. You start saying, oh, well, he or she is probably saying this or doing this or talking about this. And you have no idea. And quite frankly, the person probably isn't. It's most of the stuff that you create in your mind really never even happens. But so what Charlie did was he again, we're very divided in this country, clearly. And a lot of the reasons is because we don't talk. So a couple of things. I had one of my doctor's appointments this week, and this particular woman is quite the opposite of the way I feel about a lot of different things. But it was very interesting because we talked about things that have been happening this week. And in many cases, once we had the conversation, we really do believe or have the same type of thoughts. She's not for the leading mayoral candidate either, which I was kind of shocked about. But so it's kind of interesting. But if you have preconceived notions, which we all do, we're all guilty of that. Sometimes it's not really accurate. So you really have to have that conversation. So it's just devastating. I mean, he was just a great guy. I had an employee that worked with me a couple years ago, and she got very politically involved up at her college. And she met Charlie, and she would do like videos and stuff, and she would send them to me. And so although I didn't know him, I felt like I kind of knew him. She really became close with him and was helping him in his charge to educate the students on college campuses. Now, isn't that what it's all about? I mean, I went to college a long time ago, but first of all, I don't really remember talking about politics. I mean, it was a different time. We just didn't do that. But, we talked about different things. Actually, one thing that was very prevalent at that time was the AIDS crisis. And, I really didn't know what it meant or what it was about. But I remember having certain classes and the professors would, tell us and explain to us and, getting a clearer or a better handle or understanding of a situation really diffuses a lot of the unknowns, the hatred, the whatever, it's getting, but again, you got to get good research. But I think just having the conversations, we'll tend to learn more. So, the killing of people is not changing a damn thing. It really isn't. It's only hurting families and friends of the deceased individual. How can you kill someone just because you don't agree with them? I mean, remember the old adage, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all? All the I can't explain like what I'm trying to say, but all the negative connotations we say about, oh, this one's that one, this one's this one's that, just don't say anything. Just live your life. I mean, really, and where do you learn this? Like, where do you learn to do this? And how do you set up a plan to do this? Like, how messed up is your mind that this is what I'm going to do? And it also shows that you have a lot of time on your hands. I mean, this particular person who has been caught, allegedly, it's the guy that did it. Oh, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that it was. But, he carved things on the bullets. I mean, maybe feed the homeless or work in a soup kitchen or something. I mean, like, why don't you do something positive? Could you imagine what the world would be? So you have too much time on your hands, and I go back to the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare. That was another atrocity. And, you may hate companies, and man, there's companies that I just are not really fond of either, but I never think of like killing someone or hurting someone because they work for said company. And honestly, killing someone that works there does absolutely nothing. What does it do? So really, has there been any real stride in good direction in healthcare? Are you getting free healthcare now, or are you getting like better service? Nothing's happening. No, you're not. So it's just, it's really, really frustrating. And I just, it's definitely not the world that I grew up in. And I feel sad that my daughter has to grow up in a world like this. And I just hope that we can change. But, again, even driving on North Ocean Avenue, you got people that are aggressive and they're... Listen, we all have something. Robin Roberts wrote a book that says everybody's got something. If you have some time, pick up the book, read the book. It's so true. And we all do. Just get along. You don't have to hang out with people. There's a lot of people I don't really want to hang out with, but I'm cordial. You say hi, you have a nice interaction. That's really all we're looking for in this life. You know what I mean? We're all going to have our ultimate demise, and hopefully it's not sooner than it should be. And Charlie Kirk was way sooner, as well as that woman in North Carolina. It just stinks. But anyway, I'm going to pop this right now to some positivity because I'm just sad and I just don't want to be sad anymore. But anyway, a couple of good things that are happening is we have some changes in the housing market. So as per Redfin, it's becoming a buyer's market. Yes, you heard that, a buyer's market. The typical home sold in July spent a median of 43 days on the market, 8 days longer than a year earlier. That's the longest time on the market for houses sold in July since 2015. All 4 regions in which homes sold in July were on the market the longest were in Florida. So we're seeing a lot of things change in Florida, unless of course things go weird. And the mayoral race, you may see that change again. But anyway, so that's kind of one thing that's interesting. And then as far as on the new home sales, the median national listing price for a newly built home remains about 8% higher than that of an existing home. 451,000 versus 418,000. Again, median. This is across the country, not just here in New York. But new homes are now cheaper than existing homes on a per square footage basis. 218.66 versus 226.56, with the Southwest South and West offering the biggest discounts due to higher inventories and weak demand. So we're seeing things starting to change there, people moving, shaking. And then something else that's kind of nice is that we had a bit of a summer rate relief. According to Bankrate, 30-year fixed national average mortgage rate saw 3 straight months of declines from June through August, falling from 7.06 on May 28th, dropping down to 6.61 by Labor Day. Mortgage rates are now down 80 basis points from 2025's high of 7.41 on January 13th. So that's a very positive thing, and that, will affect the young adults, maybe if you're moving or whatever the case may be. So we have one other great thing, 100-day rally from its lowest this year on April 8th through September 2nd. The S&P 500 rallied 25+% in a 100-day trading day period for just the 12th time in the last 70 plus years. So it doesn't do that very often. So if you were in it and you won it, that's good news, man. 3 months after each of the 11 previous times, the index saw an average gain of 6%. So gold is up. We got gold hitting a price above $3,600 an ounce. So there is always bright spots. There's always bright spots. You just have to find them, and I'm the one to help you find them. I do this all the time. We talk to clients that come in, they're a little downtrodden. When they leave the office, they feel much better. But this weekend, you can have some fun as well. That concert extravaganza for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital at Medford Memorial Park has been rescheduled, so it's tomorrow, Saturday, September 13th, from noon to 7 p.m. So go there. There's going to have vendors, crafts and face painting, live music, and as far as education, the Town of Brookhaven Department of General Services and Women's Services Division is having a Stop Human Trafficking workshop. It is going to be September 17th at 6:30 at Brookhaven Town Hall. It is a free workshop. Get education, and let's try to make this world a better place. So thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit different show than I normally do, but we'll be back. Actually, next week I have a guest, and we're going to talk about small businesses and websites. So have a great weekend. See you.
Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management and Diversified Financial Solutions are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.